Where would you rather be on a Tuesday night than watching a little bit of baseball with your family and friends? Good evening, everybody, and welcome to West Torrens Baseball Club, our gracious hosts of this Tuesday night Twilight Clubland live stream. The West Torrens Eagles, third place on the ladder, trying to make a move near the top, playing a team that's trying to hunt down a remarkable surge towards a final spot. It's the West Torrens Eagles versus the Glenelg Tigers. Eric Ballnar, joined by Michael Dunn. Dunny, it should be a pretty interesting one.
Yeah, no, it should be an interesting one. Glenelg, I'm not sure whether mathematically they can still get through.
Can.
So
yeah.
they obviously need to get this one to keep their chances alive in the last game on the weekend. But West Torrens have been pretty strong as of late. They had a bit of a lull in the middle of the year there, but now they've come home pretty hard in the last couple of weeks and haven't given up many runs. So we'll see what happens early on, and if West Torrens get on top early, I think they'll just cruise along. But if Glenelg give them a bit of an itch up in the first couple innings, we could be in for a pretty good game. Well,
the chief of West Torrens Baseball Club, Mark Mcgarry, also joining the broadcast today. Mark, first off, thank you so much for having us down here. The club rooms look great. We have a great broadcast position. Thanks for having us down here.
Absolutely, our pleasure, Eric, and welcome down to Lockley's. It's certainly hasn't let us down. It's blowing a gale down here, as it mostly is. But the conditions are set for an excellent game tonight, and we're delighted to have you guys here. Looking forward to the game.
Well, we'll keep the formula simple for Glenelg in terms of the season. To make the finals, they need to win their last two games. They need East Torrens to lose their last two games, and East Torrens are playing Sturton, Henley, and Grange. Glenelg playing West Torrens tonight, and Adelaide, a team below them on the standings last, and they need Souths just to lose one game, and then Glenelg can make the finals. So it still is a possibility for Glenelg to make the finals. They started 0-7. They're knocking on the doorstep now, but they have a very difficult Eagles side to get through. On the mound tonight, Nathan Vanderlinden. He started off strong, just like the Eagles team. A couple games he might want to have back. It might be due to an injury that he had, but now he's starting to look like the Nathan Vanderlinden that we've really come to know and love recently. In the
sure. He ran into a freight train by the name of Wilson Lee a couple of times. And that certainly didn't help. But, yeah, look, it's Nathan's a wonderful player, and when his confidence is up, he's terrific. And just for probably those couple of weeks, he probably lost his way, but it's great to see him back.
Those outfielders that you see on your screen are going to be one to watch tonight. It is very windy out here. Tim Day on at the plate for Glenelg, the first batter of the game. Let's play some baseball. That rides inside for a first pitch strike. Nathan Vanderlinden heading the count early. But, Dunny, the outfield out there, my goodness, it's windy. I'm sure you've had some experience out in this field before.
Yeah, the wind plays a big part here, and the sun also plays a big part going down behind the club as well. So it's an interesting time of night, and it only gets worse. And the hardest thing here is if the ball goes in it doesn't come out, and it's really, really, really tough to field. So not so bad if there's no one on, but if you've got bases loaded, you certainly don't want one hit in it. It makes it difficult. It certainly makes it difficult to field it. So hit pitch ball there, Nath way in front there, and just throws a little wrinkle and it doesn't turn, and the leadoff hitter just turns into it, gets himself a free base.
Tim Day will go aboard. He's been one of the leaders of this Glenelg team, especially as they won the premiership a few years back. They contended for a couple years, a rejuvenation in the club, a lot of young talent on this team, and they're getting better by the week. And Tim Day, the leader of that group, one of the veteran presence on the team. Henry McAuliffe, the lefty, steps in.
And they proved they've, when they put it all together, they beat Sturt only 3 weeks back. So if they put it all together, they're certainly competitive.
It's their only win versus a top 6 team this year, but they've been competitive with most, and they started 0-7 this year, and they've dragged themselves back into the finals mix. McAuliffe with a little bleeder over towards center field, fighting the sun in center field is Nico Vanderlinden, and that's the tough play that we talk about at this field, Mark.
Yeah, and as you'll see from the pictures looking in at the clubhouse, you'll notice that the shadows start to play a real difficult part. So one of the reasons we've gone with the black backdrop there is so that the outfielders have a chance of picking the ball up off the bat. So yeah, it makes a difference. And of course, as you'll see, pitches will be in like a game of cricket. At some stage, the ball will come out of the sun into the shade and back out of it again. So it does play a little bit of a trick for the batters.
Mason Clavel up to bat. He's been the best and fairest for Glenelg for the last couple of seasons. He's not old. He's been around in this competition, playing Div 1 for like 5 years, but he was a marquee player in the Super League 5 years ago, but he's only, what, 21, 22 years old?
I reckon he might be 22. He was with the that last national champion team that Tyrone Hambley was coaching, which featured a certain Jack O'Loughlin, Curtis Mead,
Brody Areola,
Blake Farr, you know, some really, you know, outstanding young talent.
The Golden Boys.
The Golden Boys, absolutely. And he was the catcher for that team. Griffin Webber was another one, played left field in the final.
So the runner on first, Mason Clavel, has a strike against him.
I think he had a glove blowout there. Had to take him off. I think he might have split his glove on that swing, and it's pretty hard to hit with a crappy glove on, so he's decided to go bare knuckles.
Showing bunt, goes right through, and a runner just off the bag, and they're gonna, oh, it's called safe. Mcgarry can't believe it. The runner, Tim Day, was already starting to walk off the field. We're gonna get a look at the replay, and now he's called out. Let's see if they made the right call. Good look at the replay here. There's Tim Day scampering back, and yeah, he couldn't be more out. He got him right in the special place, too.
Must have been the sun. The sun behind the clubhouse got the umpire's eyes.
Well, I suspect Clay was blinded by, or shielded by Sam's body, and Tim.
And Clavel will swing through, and as soon as a runner got on, a fly out and a strikeout and a pickoff, and it ends up being a 1-2-3 inning for the home side, and that's going to end the top half of the first just like that.
Kind of a weird way to finish,
oh my goodness. Was that ever? So we are here live at West Torrens Baseball Club, a beautiful looking facility. If you haven't been down here yet before, get down here. There's going to be some finals baseball they're hoping down here, although they could finish anywhere from 4th to 1st the egg. So we don't know if they're getting a home final yet. That's what's on the line kind of tonight.
We're sort of absolutely we're targeting the wins in the last 2 games to ensure we get the opportunity. Obviously, the Goodwood Baseball Club and us have a pretty strong rivalry at the moment, and of course, if anything goes our way with Henley and Sturt in their fixtures, then who knows what could happen. So yeah, we're certainly aiming to finish as high as we possibly can.
On the mound tonight for Glenelg Baseball Club, a left-handed pitcher who has really had a breakout year, one of the breakout stars of the competition, Jaden Eldridge. He has been excellent all year. Another player that was part of that group that Tyrone Hambley coached at Nationals as well. He's eaten the most innings at 94.2. He's got an ERA of under 3, which is fantastic for starting pitchers. He is their workhorse horse. They've got an 8-5 record when he starts games, and they've got a big losing record when he doesn't. He's got a high strikeout rate, a whip of just 1.12. He's not a rookie, but this is really his first full year where he's had to be the ace of the staff, and what a season he's been. If
you look at the number of innings he's carried the Glenelg for, it shows that he's been their go-to man, and every time he's pitched at West Torrens, either here or down the bay, he's always been a standout. There's no doubt about it. Our guys struggle with the movement he gets late, and you know, and have had to work to get around him.
Dylan Bentley is the man that he is throwing to. That is the battery combination. Here's a look at the lineup for the West Torrens Eagles, and it is a very solid lineup, 1 to 9. Everybody can seem to jag some hits. Everybody this season has had a game where they've got really, really hot. Nick George, the hottest of the lot right now at the top of the lineup, but Jasper Clark, that is about as good as a 9-hitter as you can probably have in this competition with some experienced bats in the middle of the lineup, and that is how West Torrens shape up.
Yeah, they are a team that just consistently hits all the way down their lineup as well, so and they've got some good speed as well, so they run a fair bit. They lead the league in stolen bases, and you'd expect if they get guys on, they'll certainly be moving them around in a hurry. A little bit harder with the lefty on the hill, but they'll still try and work around it, I'm sure.
First pitch swing from Nick George. A player that's really kind of come out of his shell a little bit over at West Torrens since he's moved over here, hasn't he, Mark?
Absolutely, mate. He came across to us from Northern Districts, having had a short break from the game. He'd lost his enjoyment, and there's no doubt at all that he's blossomed into exactly what we hoped for. He took his medicine. He started in Division 3. We prescribed what we thought he would need to do to make it to this level, and he's ticked every box, and so absolutely deserves what results have come his way in the last month to 6 weeks.
Flies one out to right field. Another player that's really started to emerge this season is this guy up to bat, Jacob Scott. really kind of cemented himself near the top of the lineup. A few games lately where he's had multiple hits, he's had some home runs. And Jacob Scott, it takes a couple seasons for players to really solidify themselves, but Jacob Scott is certainly here now, and he looks like it's going to fly out to right field, and he jags the first hit of the game. Jacob Scott continues his torrid pace.
It's another typical Jacob Scott hit. He drives well to all parts of the field, and seems to be able to find a spot, find a gap in the field, and there he did it just again.
Yeah, there's certainly, you can see the outfielders, the right fielders are really shallow too, if Brando can get out there at some stage.
Hitting right into it there, Danny.
So they are in shallow there, and that's an opportunity there where you get that hard line drive, you can make it out at first. With the wind as strong as it is, the left fielder and the centre field a little bit further back, and yeah, it's an interesting time to see what happens with the wind and how West Torrens play this.
Tom Mcgarry, the batter, leads the competition in runs batted in this year. He cracked the 40 mark over the weekend, 42 on the season. He's in a bit of a tussle with Austin Gallagher for the RBI lead that Mcgarry has an edge on right now, but what a season he's had with the RBI. And I say what a season, it's kind of par for the course for Tom Mcgarry the last couple of years at least.
He certainly had things go his way, no doubt about it.
Well, just catches the plate.
The big thing that I see there with his numbers is the reason you hit so high and your on-base percentage is so high as well is because your strikeouts are down.
Yeah.
You know, 20 strikeouts in 120 at bats.
10 strikeouts.
Sorry, 10 strikeouts in 120 at bats. That's a good number, and if you put the ball into play enough, which you would because you're not striking out, your numbers definitely go up.
What's his on-base percentage?
492.
Oh, okay. So flip a coin whether he's getting on or off right here.
Yeah, so 1 in every 2 he does something, either gets walked. He's walked a fair bit as well, so 15 so far on the year.
Jacob Scott's got a bit of speed on the base pass, certainly someone that you have to at least respect on there. He's got some athleticism about him, but the whole team really 80 stolen bases as a group.
Well, we don't, we don't have a lot of the raw power of, say, an Austin Gallagher or somebody like that in our lineup. We certainly can hit home runs, but we just don't build it around that sort of player, so we have to find other ways of scoring.
And a swing and a miss on Tom Mcgarry, so Michael Dunn puts the kibosh on him, says he doesn't strike out a lot. 3 pitches later, he's down.
Can't oversit, think about it, come out next time. We do that a lot, Eric. Especially you. You do it a hell of a lot more than I do. I've done it probably twice, and you've done it 15 to 20 times.
I've done it a lot as of late, especially on the In the Bullpen show.
And on teams, not just on players.
Oh, whole teams. The wagon curse right now. I did that on Glenelg the other day, too. I was saying they're making a charge to the finals, and then they got thumped their next game.
Smashed into the wall in a hurry.
But they're still in the mix here. Still a runner on for Sam Mcgarry. This grounded over towards second. Elliot Ross scoops, fires, and it's a pretty straightforward inning, just the one hit to Jacob Scott. It is a 1-0, or it's a 0-0 game, sorry, through 1. We'll take a quick break and be back for inning number 2. Look at the oval here at Lockley's Reserve, home of the West Torrens Baseball Club. How good does it feel? We were the same conversation we had with Adelaide a couple weeks ago when we were there. It must be so nice to actually have a home again.
Well, we're almost back to where we were before the council, who we're extremely grateful for their support. In terms of having the building, absolutely. We're just looking for the last stages to be completed now with the return of our batting tunnels. I know Adelaide have already got theirs, and what a remarkably beautiful building that is, and a wonderful situation, and bringing back access to the field for the whole year, which is great for them.
The wind might have just picked up about 2 knots, it feels like. This is ridiculous as Dylan Bentley takes a first pitch strike. You were saying before the game, this is about as windy as you've seen it down here?
It certainly is not the most pleasant night. It's coming out of the south, and it's pretty strong.
I kind of like it. I like games like these. As Bentley drives one over towards right field, making a diving catch. Jasper Clark reaches down, scoops it up, and makes the out.
Came up for air, but was able to hold on to it. Well done, Jas.
It's a good play there. He took the challenge of going after it. He could have made a
absolutely. Bentley was a bit stiff, wasn't he? Really could have made ground and
well,
and
the thing
got
is, if it got past him, it's probably an in the parker, right?
Exactly. Yep.
So no, he took it on and made a very good catch. Ice creamed it in the end, but it doesn't matter how you do it.
Still it out.
That's right.
Archie Lovelock, another one of these young kids coming through Glenelg, has crawled his way up the lineup this season. I remember watching him play junior league baseball in those tournaments just a few years ago with players like Max Stagg on West Torrance.
Yeah, he's played about half the games. He's played 15 games for 10 hits and about 263 at the moment with 3 stolen bases. So he's only a young kid who's learning how it all happens, and he'll only get better with the more games he plays.
Yeah, same kind of age group. There's a lot of different players here. He might have played with the Jacob Scott age group, maybe?
Yep, could definitely be in that age group.
How old's Jacob? Only 18?
Jacob's just turned, I think, 19.
19. Yeah, he's maybe a year older than Max, right?
Yes, he is.
That whole cohort played together, and with the waves as Lovelock swings and misses, so Nathan van der Linden looking a bit more like Nathan van der Linden.
Yeah, that's his best pitch there. That pulled the string on that changeup. If he can throw that for strikes, he's really tough to get away. If he can't, that's where he gets into trouble. So if he can keep throwing that to some of these Glenelg kids, they'll have all sorts of strife in getting on top of him tonight.
Right before the Adelaide Giants season started, as Connor Hill comes up to bat, Nathan van der Linden hurt that hand.
Remember, he got hit it was a Super League game, wasn't it?
Yep. Or it might have been the Giants. Was it the All-Star game?
It was the All-Star game, correct. Yeah, sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, that's right. It was the All-Star game, Super League All-Stars versus the Giants. Hurt his hand, came around, still scored a run, but...
Yeah, he was hurting. And Nate's not someone who shows pain. And he was hurting.
He battled through, though.
There's that change. I mean, again, if he can throw that for strikes all night, Glenelg will be in a lot of trouble.
Most teams will.
Yeah. I mean, that's when he had a really successful ABL year, when he threw that pitch for strikes. And it's just a really good pitch, and he can throw it in any count. That's what makes him so tough to get away, and a hitter doesn't get set thinking they're going to get something powerful or a fastball thrown to him, and he just pulls a string on it, and they're way out in front of it, and then comes back with that pitch that looks like it's high 80s instead of probably low to mids, but the changeup makes that pitch look a lot faster than it actually is. Quick
work, 1-2-3 inning for Nathan van der Linden, and he's got the home supporters fired up here at West Torrens Baseball Club, and a club with a lot of key supporters. Now, this one was really interesting to me, that when we were talking before the game about Wedgetail Social Club that Phil Burgess and Ray Hambley really started pioneer. Correct. You want to tell me a little bit about that?
Well, the Wedgetails was an idea that we came up with at the beginning of last year, because there's a lot of the old boys who'd been sitting patiently waiting for the new clubhouse to be finished, and they were just looking for a way to get back involved, and Phil, obviously being one of the legends of this club, came up with the idea of setting up a club called the Wedgetails, and basically anybody can join, become financial member, and they run functions on designated games. They have draws and prizes, but all the money raised then is reinvested back into the facilities for the club. So the first thing that I can point out that's been scored is the scorer's box, which was purchased by the Wedgetails, and their intention is to help us refurbish and furnish out the batting tunnels when they arrive as well.
See, that's something I love, and I probably think needs to happen even probably a bit more at different baseball clubs, ice hockey clubs that I'm involved in, all that, because at home, it's called a booster club, and that's what happens all the time, and that is how you build club history and legacy and getting people involved and giving back to the club long after you finish playing.
Well, the beauty of it from my point of view, and you know, being a relative newcomer to West Torrens, I've been president for 10 years, but there are names that are quite famous around this club whom I'd never met. And you hear this name and that name, you hear this family and that family, but the Wedgetails have brought them all together.
Other big partners here, Bell Property Group, Glenelg. We'll talk more about the sponsors later on, but Lockley's Hotel and North Adelaide Dental Care you would have seen flick up on your screen just before as West Torrens start their half of the second inning. And number 22, Mitch Newenborn, the ABL, still the reigning ABL Rookie of the Year. He is now officially the longest Rookie of the Year in ABL history.
He is, you're right. He is indeed. And he's having a good, there's another.
And he drives one towards right field, but it goes right towards Archie Lovelock, who, again, those right fielders playing in.
Yeah, I mean, if they're playing normal depth, that ball's a hit. You know, it drops down in front of them, and they've, obviously the wind's playing a massive part, so they've all taken the opportunity to come in and field a little shallower, and they're making the catches.
Gee, Max Stagg, this batter's had a summer to remember, hasn't he?
He has, yeah.
Well, he's had a pretty impressive 18 months, hasn't he? He's gone from being not sort of sure what he's going to be to an outstanding young athlete who's only got the world in front of him if he does all the right things.
Off to the Australian National Selection Camp in April, looking at all the best junior talent across the country. He played for Team Australia Futures versus the Giants. He went 4 for 5 in a game. He did get out, unfortunately, but 4 for 5 I think stacks up. And he hit over 350 with the Giants in exhibitions games this year, and he was consistent. Had that big Super League season too. So Max Stagg had a big year, one that he won't forget. This one inside, he'll take a step back. Working against Jaden Eldridge on the mound. 2-2 count. Feels like one of those nights where runs are going to be at a premium.
Yeah, yep. And as we talk about it every week, Eric, free bases. So they've got to not give up the free bases because they, at some stage, they will hurt you.
Stagg to left field. It's a bit awkward moving back, and it drops over the oh, it's just bounced over the fence.
I think it's a ground rule double, I think.
Yep, double.
It just kept swirling. McAuliffe was moving back. It bounces in front of the fence. So yeah, 2 bases.
You can see how far the ball it gets in that slipstream out there at left center and just flies.
Well, that'll be good for Max's confidence. He's had a bit of a dry run since he came back from the Giants. I think he might have been a bit mentally tired. So he had a couple of games off during the midweek and last weekend, and I think already you can see the difference.
Yeah, first at bat, welcome back, Max Stagg. It's a ground rule double. Puts a runner in scoring position for a man who knows how to drive him in, Tyrone Hambley. Coach of this West Torrens team. Longtime state coach a few years ago that coached South Australia, did some national championships.
OSU alum.
Yeah,
he's only played 13 games this year too, so I mean that just tells you that he's getting old.
He'll tell you that too.
He's just getting old.
He's still the best first baseman we've got, no doubt about it, athletically speaking.
He put up some numbers in college baseball too.
1 game, 4 on ice.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Oh, life catches up with you.
No doubt. Oh, it catches up with everybody, that's for sure.
Can see the ball and can hit about as good as anybody in the competition.
And he's just getting himself ready for another finals campaign, I would think.
I would think so. Hope so.
And he drives this ball towards left field. McAuliffe has to turn, go back to the wall, and McAuliffe makes a fantastic catch. He's going to try the relay in. And they might have got him at second. The umpires are going to converse about whether Max Stagg tagged up properly or not. He's saying he did.
I don't think he was watching. I'm not sure they can call that.
But that was a sensational catch out in left field by McAuliffe.
Let's have a look and see what happens here.
Stagg's going back. I don't know if we have a shot of the second baseman or the runner that was standing on second before that. Well, Either way, what a grab. We've seen a couple highlight reel catches.
Nick Hutchings from Southern Districts took an absolute home run robber on the weekend in the same sort of position, got up on the fence and took it as it was going over.
Well, looking at that replay, it would suggest that Max Stagg was pretty aware that that ball might be caught and he was going back to second. You could see him on the edge of that cutoffs by the time the ball was yet in McAuliffe's glove. We don't have the footage, but you'd suggest that he's not lurking in between the bases. That
No, I guess from a base runner's point of view, from what I would think is that Max goes back because if he catches it, he still gets to third. But if he drops it, the ball, or doesn't catch it, the ball goes over the fence.
Yeah.
No,
fly towards center field, won't score the run, so Nico Vanderlinden flies out. We've played 2, and we've seen 2 highlight reel catches, one from both teams. Here's a look at the replay again. I don't know if this one will show it. We're watching the man on second base in blue.
He goes out of shot.
I think he does too.
Yeah, but he's definitely going back, so there's no reason why he wouldn't have tagged.
Yeah, if you're going back, and he's charging back too. We'll leave it at that. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back. It's no score after 2. What a catch.
But a great catch, nonetheless.
Back at the ballpark, and who doesn't love a little scoreboard watching? The big couple games we're watching, one of them, Southern Districts and Kensington. It is no score in the bottom of the second. It's at South. South has beat Kensington a couple times this year. They've just been Kensington's bogey team, and they've got runners on the corners with nobody out. So that is your update. They need South to lose Glenelg. From a Glenelg perspective, they need South to lose one of their last 2 games, and Glenelg need to win out. And South's play Northern District's next game, so you'd think that this is the game they need them to lose, as it's driven out towards right field again, and another catch by Jasper Clark. Sturt have a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first over East Torrens. That one is at East Torrens, and that is another important one because East Torrens are currently the team that is in that final playoff spot. And if Souths win tonight and East Torrens lose, it's going to be very tricky for East Torrens to get in because Souths hold that tiebreaker because of the forfeit over East Torrens.
Yeah, and you wouldn't expect them to get beaten next week by Northern Districts either, so...
Alex Steff up to bat. So that's the scenario in baseball land. The top 4, any one of the top 4 teams right now can win the minor premiership. Actually, I'm not too sure if Goodwood can mathematically anymore. They've played 29 games.
Yeah, this is their last game tonight.
Yeah, they play what? Yeah, they've got 1 more game. So, but West Torrens can finish 4th. They can finish 1st. They need a few things to happen to go first, but certainly a home final is where they want to be. And finishing 1st is the only spot that you get. And through all of this, I'm just chatting 6 pitches, and we've got 2 outs already. Nathan Vanderlinden.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, as a coach, from a coach's point of view here from Glenelg, if you're not going to tell the guys that you're going to get a change up somewhere in your at bat, you're in for a hell of a long night. So you either got to make some adjustments here as a hitting team, or you'll just keep getting punched out on that change up every time.
Tom Hutton up to bat. It's been 9 up, 9 down. Tim Day was hit by pitch on the first bat, and since then, 4 strikeouts and 3 flyouts.
And here it is. You watch. One of the next 2 pitches will be a changeup. There's no doubt.
With the 0-2 cap?
There's no doubt. It's just the way he does it. So as a hitter, you need to make that adjustment.
And it is, was that a 9-pitch? Was that a less than 9-pitch inning? The flyout?
7, I think.
He just struck out 2 guys on 3 pitches, and yeah, it was the first pitch flyout. Unbelievable. Nathan Vanderlinden, how are you?
When he's dealing, there's no doubt about it.
9 up, 9 down to start, and the Eagles are buzzing, at least in the field right now. Look at some of the more sponsors, club sponsors. Jay Duggan and JDP Painting, still a long-time supporter. Great to keep him around.
Jay's been a great supporter of ours over the years, and is on board again this year, and we thank him for that.
Exceed Solar, Corey Evans, their second year on board. They kept him around.
They have come around, and we thank them for their contribution to the club and being great supporters, and we thank them.
The most important person at the club, the barman, Peter Harvey.
Yes, your print partners, absolutely, for all your printing needs. Peter's business is been a wonderful supporter of the club, and again, long-term sponsor of the club.
And if you're a baseball person, you got to try these executive fig wines that Mark Snellgrove, the whole Snellgrove clan do. They got the change up. They've got a couple baseball named.
We have. Have you picked up on that? Have you? Yeah.
Well, no,
so we've got a couple of reds,
couple bottles from them.
The K2, the double play, and first base is the white wine, which is a Sauv Blanc.
I love it.
And they got a Strike 3, which I think is a sparkling white, and they absolutely sail off the shelves here at West Torrens.
JSR Plumbing and Maintenance, John O'Rex, he's been doing a lot. He does a lot even down in Giants land and helps everybody out in the baseball community. He's just a beauty, as we call him.
So you may not remember somebody called the Energizer Bunny, but Dunny probably does, and that would describe Rexy to a T.
And then the F93. This is a crazy story about the food. This sounds amazing.
Absolutely. Well, so when we moved in, we had a look at the size of our new kitchen, which is full-on commercial size. And, going from a club that used to produce chips and pies from the pie warmer, and obviously West Torrens was famous for its hot dogs. We looked at the possible way of running it, and anyway, so we knew Francesco, who F stands for Francesco, had a cafe down at Keswick, and we dropped in on him one time, and so he's come on board as our chef. He runs the kitchen, he runs the canteen, and he's got a wonderful little cafe made out of shipping containers down at Keswick on Croydon Road, and the coffee's magnificent and the food's even better. And of course he created such a hit with our members that the football club asked him to come on board. So now he runs the kitchen at Lockley's for the full year round.
Jasper Clark fouls it away, a lengthy at-bat. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. That will equal what Nathan Vanderlinden needed to get through Glenelg in the top part of this inning.
So what's his specialty, Mark? What can you sell us?
My personal favourite is the schnitzel. There's no doubt about it. He makes a wonderful schnitzel, but he's also got steaks. He does a heart attack double cheeseburger. Oh. He's got vegetarian options for the people who prefer that, and fish, and he brings in different specials from time to time. So he's had southern fried chicken some weeks. He's had spare ribs in southern style sauce, and yeah, certainly it's been a wonderful addition, and takes us away from the old schnitzel only dished up from our kitchens, usually cooked by me.
Yep.
Nick George up to bat. He's got a runner on base in Jasper Clark, and Jasper Clark, he's got a few stolen bases this year. He's got 12, which is second on the team.
They're looking to just move runners over here and just do it. Not now, they've just gone up to hit. So, as you said, though, Eric, at the start of the game, I think runs are going to be pretty hard to come by. So just to get 1 or 2 might be enough. So you might play a little short ball somewhere and see whether you can try and get a run on the board.
West Torrens on a little bit of a streak right now. We're in the midst of a 3-game losing streak, but since then they've bounced back with 3 straight wins, and they've outscored opponents 31-0 in those games. So West Torrens not really allowing a heck of a lot, because they may have scored 31, but they only needed 3 to win those 3 games.
Yeah, the thing here is you've got two quick light guys. So if George can get on, and you got Jasper who can run good as well. So you just George got to do everything he can here just to try and at minimum needs to make sure that he gets Jasper to second. With 1 out.
Jaden Eldridge being very cautious of Jasper Clark on the base pass, trying to keep him in check with Alex Steff over at first. High outside. So 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Might be a running count somewhere along here too soon. So this might be a good time to get someone moving.
Nick George just tips it foul, stays alive.
Eldridge doing a great job. He's just got enough movement at the end of that pitch to throw the swing off. He's doing an excellent job tying up the hitters.
Very worried about that runner, aren't they?
He certainly got speed, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's an important runner just for the sake that both guys can run fast. So you just got to be a little bit alert with what's going on.
And there he goes, and it hits Nick George.
So that's exactly what I was talking about. That pressure of having guys that can run quick on bases and then being too concerned about what they're doing instead of trying to get the hitter out, and then you do something like that. So here's an opportunity that if they're trying to score a run, which Bones did in the last at bat, they'd be very surprised if they're probably not looking to lay one down here and get the runners over with both the Mcgarrys coming up and trying to get some runs on the board.
And Jacob Scott swinging a hot bat. The 2, 3, 4 batters are not the part of the lineup you want to have first and second on if you're Glenelg. But Scotty's showing that he's going maybe playing a little bit small ball here.
Yeah, you know, just because as you said, the runs are going to be at a premium here, so just get the runners. You got 2 quick guys out there. You get runners to first and second and third with 1 out, and then you got the 2 big guys coming up, and you're thinking that.
This one popped in the air. That one goes foul, including the RBI leader.
Yeah, so this is where Jacob, I mean, he's just an out, right? So don't try and get yourself a base hit. Just get the ball on the ground and move the runners over. So don't try, you know, there he was trying to get it down and run as fast as he could to try and get a hit out of it. But just give yourself up, move the runners over, and let the other guys behind you come up and score the runs.
First time there's been serious pressure on the base paths. Teams have had runners in scoring position. Tyrone Hambley was robbed of a home run in the last inning.
Great catch.
But this is the first time there's serious pressure. Runner going. Scott lays down the bunt, and it's a good one. It's going to be a tough play. They get the runner at third. Nick George goes to second. Jasper Clark to third. And now a base hit.
HILLTOP Office Supplies are here to provide you with all your stationery, sanitary products.
Doesn't even try and think about trying to get a base hit. Puts it in the perfect spot to make the out.
I think Clark would have made it comfortably anyway because he got such a great jump. He was already nearly at third base by the time the ball made contact.
And now you got the 3-4 guys up, and you would expect in this sort of situation with 1 out that
they'll do something.
West Torrens would score some runs because this is what it's all set up to do.
Fly ball would score a run. 42 RBIs on the season for Tom Mcgarry. And it goes up the middle. That's going to hold the runner. It won't be an RBI this time. There was a lot of scenarios that would have scored a run. That was about worst case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
good pitch.
Yeah, again, we talk about it every week. You've got one thing to do there and get a pitch up in the zone to drive the ball in the outfield. That's all you have to do in that situation. The infield's all playing up, which means Glenelg think that they're not going to score very many runs if you're trying to get 1 run to save at the plate, right? Get a pitch you can drive. Worst case scenario, you get caught in the outfield, you still score a run and you're 1-0 in front. Got to be frustrating for Bones in that situation. First pitch, had plenty of time.
Well, especially given Tom's performance over recent weeks, he's been absolutely bankable.
Yeah.
In that sort of situation.
Just an impatient, you know, you have him every now and again. You just have a antsy. Yeah, you're just impatient. You know, you're just trying to do the right thing, and you just by the time then you sort of half swung it at, and then by the time you've done anything about it, it's too late, and you ground out to the pitcher.
Sam Mcgarry is in a hitting count right now, and now he's in a 3-0 position. The ball is firmly in his court right now. Called ball, so it is bases loaded as Sam Mcgarry takes a 4-pitch walk, and now Mitch Newenborn. He's hit a couple home runs this season, by the way. Always seems to have the bat in his hand in an important moment. It's funny that, isn't it?
Most pitchers do for some reason.
Because when I first met him, he was playing against Sam for Western Australia in the Australian Little League, and he was one of those outstanding shortstop second basemen who wasn't pitching at all at that stage.
Now he can throw the ball hard.
Oh, yeah.
He was scheduled to play for Team Australia a couple weekends ago before those games got washed out by that heavy rain that was up in Brisbane.
Absolutely, yeah. Terrible news for them.
But he can hurt you with the bat as well, Mitch Newenborn, who's come over from Western Australia, and now he really feels like a South Australian, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and I think he's got a job in the summer in America in Indie Ball with the Sioux City Chiefs, I think, is it? Where Mikey Reynolds played? Oh no, the
Canaries.
The Canaries, yes, the black and yellow, yeah. So he'll head over there after the club ball season, I'm sure, and get himself settled in and try and pick up have another really good year and then come back and get ready for another ABL season.
1 ball and 2 strikes, bases loaded. Best chance of the ball game for West Torrens, and it's a hit by pitch, and it's a costly one because it's going to cost a run. 2 walks and 2 hit by pitches in this inning. That is how they have scored runs. Free bases telling a big tale, and it's 1-0.
Well said. Free bases.
It's hard to defend them, Dunny, isn't it?
Well, you put a runner on, you know, you got runners at second, third, yeah. You walk the 4 guy, and then they hit the 5 guy, and there's back-to-back free bases, and now all of a sudden you're down 1-0 when you really didn't need to be.
It's literally taking the bat out of their hands. I mean, theoretically, West Torrens didn't need to bring a bat to the plate, right?
No, and you can't defend it. That's the thing. You can't. The hardest thing is you cannot defend it. So it makes it really tough for the for your infielders and or any fielder really to defend that type of play.
Well, it's still only 1 run, and there's 1 out away from getting out of the inning, Glenelg. But Max Stagg, who has a double in this game, has a chance to blow this one open.
And here's your opportunity. Here, get a good pitch. You're looking for 1 pitch in 1 spot right here. And he got it and he missed it.
And he knows it.
So now you got to reset, have a little different mind approach now with a different count. Go back to protecting the plate because again another free base here scores another run, right? There you go, 3-1. Now you go back into that same mindset, 2-0. So you go into that same mindset, 2-0.
1 pitch.
You know what you're going to get. He can't afford to walk here. You're going to get 1 pitch in 1 spot. You got one of 2 things. You come out of your shoes, or it's ball 4 and you score another run. Big pitch here.
And Stagg got a piece of it, a better one than his last one, but it still drifts well foul.
That's okay. Now the opportunity comes up with you got bases loaded, 3-2 count. So now the runners also get the advantage of taking off early too, right? So here's where a base hit can actually score 3.
Heaps of pressure points. Fouled away. Two walks, 2 hit by pitches, and 2 ground outs. One of them off a bunt in this inning. Nothing hit to the outfield. Only 2 balls put in play, and one of them was a bunt. Nothing past the pitcher's mound in terms of balls put in play. And Stagg drives one to left field. McAuliffe moving back, leaps up, and it goes over his head. It scores 1 run, it scores 2 runs, and Max Stagg is going to have his 2nd double, and he slides in safe. It's the Max Stagg party. A bases clearing hit for Max Stagg, and it's 4-0.
Quite happy with my call there, Eric.
Yeah.
Hey, did you like that? So that's exactly it. You get the advantage of taking off early. Mitch Newenborn's almost at second base before the ball's even thrown.
And he's a racehorse.
And then you take off, the ball's over his head, and he scores pretty easy, and all of a sudden it's 4-0.
Max Stagg having himself a ball game already. Given a little bit of time off, just that week's rest, and I think that's helping him.
Yeah, sometimes a bit of mental freshening up. Just go back to what centers you, and all of a sudden things become clear again.
You subscribe to that, Dunny?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's a young kid
he's had a busy season.
He's walked into an ABL season. You've got to be flat after all that. All you do is learn and learn and learn and learn, and your brain gets fried. You need to have a refresher.
And they need him to be fresh for the finals because Max Stagg is a very important part of this team. Awkward spot over to short. Day has to scoop. Fire gets it off the bag, but Tyrone Hamley runs into it, so they'll make the out. But a bunch of walks, and then a monster hit from Max Stagg, and the West Torrens Eagle have opened the door. It's a 4-0 game. We'll be back after this. Back here at Lockleys, home of the West Torrens Baseball Club. The Eagles coming off a 4-0 lead. Take a look at this camera. This is what we're trying to fix with to deal with that sun that wreaks havoc on everybody here. We've got a hat that we've had to put on the camera to fix a glare. The sun is the sun and the shadows are interesting here.
They are, and certainly at this time of night, it's always a challenge.
Tim Day leading things off. He's the only base runner for Glenelg in this game. It was a hit by pitch back in the first inning. And since then, Nate Vanderlinden has been mowing them down. Glenelg chasing 4 runs. And this one just gets over a leaping Jacob Scott. And Tim Day is aboard. Glenelg need a response. Their season well and truly on the line now.
That should be a hit.
Oh, yeah. Jacob made a great effort and just wasn't able to take it, so I think scorers would be pretty tough if they didn't give Timmy a hit on that one.
Henry McAuliffe had that great catch and took a couple runs off the board for Tyrone Hambley back in the second inning. Flew out in his first at-bat to Nico Vanderlinden. Glenelg looking to return serve.
There it is. There it is.
It's a thing of beauty once he gets his range right. No doubt about it. Very tough to hit.
Two count coming up here. Glenelg now need to figure out how to string together some runs, not just play that small ball and get the one.
Well, just some back-to-back hits. You know, that's let's start there and see what happens from there. They just need to put the ball into play and see what happens.
McAuliffe again towards center field. Nico Vanderlinden having to fight the swirling wind. He turned left, he turned right, he turned left again. And he finally brings one in. It was adventurous out in center field, Dunny?
Yeah, he did a little ring-a-rosy there, didn't he, for a while? So,
no,
but
no doubt the home ballpark helps there. I think he knows where to run in that
exactly.
one, so he was confident.
Yeah, knew what he was doing, which is good.
Mason Clavel, runner on base still. Dylan Bentley will follow. These games just 7 innings, by the way, or 2 hours, whichever comes first. Going at a decent pace right now if we're already nearing the midway point of the game, and we're only at 45 minutes.
Oh, Eric, you've done it again.
Well, it doesn't matter. It can't be longer than 2 hours. There's no way the game can be, although we've actually been at some twilight games. We've been at 2 of them.
We nearly lit a fire, and a couple of them was that
That's
dark.
true. It did. There's the Golden Grove game and the Adelaide game. Those games ended at like 8:30 because
I watched it. You could certainly not see anything. It looked like black from the center field shot.
It was hard to call it. Like a couple balls were hit to the outfield, and you're like, ball hit to the outfield, and well, they're still running, so it must have fallen.
Still landed, yep.
Clavel again to center field. Vanderlinden back. easy catch for him, and it's 2 flyouts to straightaway center field for Glenelg. Right in front of that Lockley's Hotel sign. Lockley's has been around for a while, the hotel, haven't they?
Absolutely. They're our neighbours just out the back here, and so it makes a lot of sense that we do business with it, but they also have been wonderful supporters, particularly through the tough time when we didn't have a clubhouse and we had to play at West Beach. They stuck with us the whole way, and we really appreciated that.
Dylan Bentley. Watches it drift outside. Ball up high. Bentley does have some power about him. He's still in that hitter's count. Tim Day can run as well.
Yeah, a good running count here. If it doesn't look like he's going to run though, so not the greatest 3-1 swing I've seen. But now he's got to bear down now and get back into that that mindset. 3-2. 1 out.
The strikeout rates have gone down from Mason Clavel in other years. I think only 17 strikeouts compared to some other years this year. This one flies out to right field. Jasper Clark moves back, makes the play. No harm, no foul for the West Torrens Eagles. It remains a 4-0 game, and we reach the exact midway point at a beautiful game and a windy night here at the home of the Eagles. Now, over in left field, I don't know if we can get a shot of this, producer Brandon, those numbers that we're looking at directly down the left field line. There's 4 numbers just inside the foul pole. What are those numbers? Who are they?
Well, they, for those of you who know the history of the West Torrens Baseball Club, they are our retired numbers. Number 8 on the left-hand side is the great Andrew Scott. Jacob, his son, is currently wearing number 8, but otherwise it's a retired number. The second one in on the left is number 12, the great Max Puckett, who is a Hall of Fame member here at the club, and number 12 is retired. Number 18 is the newest addition to the group. That's Kingsley Wellington. Kingsley, of course, is the coach of our team of the century and a member of the Hall of Fame at the West Torrens Baseball Club. And, of course, number 20 is very well known around baseball circles. That's the great Philip Burgess, who's is still probably the most active former player around the club in terms of running the wedge tails and staying involved. And given that he and Deirdre now have been involved for probably 30 or 40 years, it makes it's a no-brainer to think that his number was retired, but that's what it is, number 20. So 8, 12, 18 and 20 are our retired numbers officially.
Yes, knew all of those people. Kingsley in the old days with the Adelaide Giants, the start-up side of things.
So the team of the year? Anyone else that I know that was on the team of the year?
Well, this is the team of the century.
Team of the century. Sorry,
okay,
that's
so
century.
The team of the century. Our pitchers were Bruce Doolan, who was an Australian cricketer. Fred Medley is still around. Max has unfortunately left us. Brian Scott is Andrew's father. Yep. Grant Puckett unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago. Max's son.
First pitch bunt laid down from Nico Vanderlyn, and a barehanded play over to first. That would have been a great play from Mason Clavel, but Nico Vanderlyn and getting sneaky.
Good effort, and he got it away well. Then you've got the great Malcolm Gregg, who was a left-handed pitcher. Daniel Redden and Jonathan Rex were our pitchers in our 2006 premiership team. The catchers were Phil Brideoak, the late Gary Thompson, and of course Phil Burgess. And then the infielders, where there was Alan Brandstrom, the late Kevin Medley, who's just passed away, a name familiar to baseball people in South Australia, Brian Cakebread. Tim Day, not the Tim Day that's playing here, but his namesake. Andrew Scott, of course, and Tim Mead, Curtis's dad. And then into the outfield, yes, there might be one that you know here, as Colin Payne, Les Buller, Stephen Rex, who's father of Jono, the great Mark Van Pelt, Michael Dunn.
Yeah. That'd be me.
Ball hit over towards right field, charging on his Lovelock. It drops foul.
Doesn't quite get it. Mark Tainty and Tom Feebig. And then the utilities were Maury Sykes, Malcolm Lecornu, Burke Webber, well known to us. Unfortunately for us, he's at Henley at the moment, and Sam Tibbetts, who was a coach and player, one of our last premiers.
Oscar's still here, though. Oscar Webber?
Oscar is here, and Oscar remains firmly committed to our baseball club. And I'm not saying that the other Webbers at Henley aren't, but that's just what they're doing at the moment.
Ball, and it's a good pickoff move, and now in trouble is Nico Vanderlinden in a good run down here. And Vanderlinden still stuck in the middle. Vanderlinden with the old pump fake, trying to get back and slide him down, and a diving play just gets him out at the last second. Now, Dunny, when you're a runner in those situations, not that you would have ever been caught in a rundown yourself, so you probably have no idea what it's like. So theoretically speaking, walk me through what you're trying to do as a runner to try to escape that.
Well, the first thing you do is there was enough throws back and forward there that Nico could have found a player, right? You try and find a player, and you run into him, and then it's interference.
Yeah.
So he had an opportunity there. He could have grabbed right at the end there. I reckon he could have grabbed the pitcher, who was sort of about 10 feet off the first, and the umpire would have had to call time, and it would have been interference, and you actually get the second.
So it works. That's one strategy.
Because by the time you go, but you're that tired, you can't.
So
go
you're just
anywhere.
trying to buy time.
You try to buy time. They'll eventually, with what goes on there, someone will mess it up. The guy stands on the line, and all you have to do is touch him, and it's interference because he's not allowed to be there. That's the easiest, because you made a boo-boo anyway, so you have to try and get yourself out of it somehow.
So Jasper Clark's at bat changes with nobody on. All 4 runs from West Torrens scored in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
So going back to that team of the century too, Eric, every single one of my teammates is in that team of the century. That's how strong we were.
From your winning team.
From our winning team. So our winning team was Grant Puckett, Malcolm Gregg,
Andrew Scott,
Tim Day, Andrew Scott, Tim Mead, Phil Burgess, Mark Van Pelt, myself, and Mark Tainty. All played in the same team.
Burke Webber at utility?
And Burke Webber.
Oh my goodness.
Every one of them, I think, played for the Giants, did they not?
We did.
Chipped over towards shortstop. Day bare hands it, and he makes the play.
Great play.
Tim Day with a great play over at first. Bare hands it.
That was a great play. And I'd also say that I would almost say that every single one of those players also played for Australia. Every single one of them.
Tim Day, look at this, though, on the replay. Wow.
That's a great play, isn't it?
Yeah. And, of course, I did forget to mention, Dunny, the coach is Kingsley Wellington, Ron Harvey is the assistant coach, and Barb Jamison. I think Ron was your coach.
Ron was our coach, and just to top that off too, Barb Jamison was our scorer when we were playing as well.
Nick George up to bat. Fouls it away. So some good defense in this game, just quietly. Tim Day with that play. One robbed a home run earlier.
Absolutely,
Jasper Clark had that diving catch in right field for West Torrens. But Tim Day, that is a difficult play.
Well, that's as hard as it gets. It doesn't get any harder than making that play.
Nick George takes one over the plate, 0-2.
And Jasper's not slow either.
No.
Which makes it even a better play.
Mm-hmm.
Bentley brings it down. Free bases, he said at the beginning of the game, would be the storyline, and those 4 walks, or 2 walks and 2 hit by pitches in the 3rd inning, looming large in Glenelg's season right now on life support. They've done well, though, to drag themselves back even into a position where they're in a finals conversation from starting 0-7.
Yeah, they're a better team than that, Eric, absolutely. And I think the last few weeks have shown that and done justice to their ability.
Still not out of this one, but this one towards center field is going to drop in front of Tom Hutton in center field. And Nick George, he's on base for the 2nd time today, and he has his first hit. Jacob Scott, he's got a hit, and he had that sacrifice bunt in the 3rd inning.
So we're looking something to happen here. Nick George won't hang around too long, I wouldn't think. He'll try and slide step there by for Eldridge to try and keep him close. But this is a situation with 2 out, you run, right? I mean, he gets thrown out, doesn't matter. Jacob comes up and leads off the next innings anyway, so...
And he's got 29 bags, so...
You give him an opportunity.
And he is taking a healthy lead, isn't he?
Probably a good time to pick here. No.
There he goes. And Scott defended and chipped it away on a ball that was outside. Trying to become the first person to get to 30 stolen bases. Keep him in check. Nick George, by far the leader in stolen bases. Jack Partington not far behind. How about in the women's comp, by the way? Carly Moore's played half as many games as everybody else, and she has the most stolen bases in the competition. She got 17 stolen bases in 8 games.
Yeah, she's an absolute warrior, that one.
There he goes again, and they're going to test the throw, and there's stolen base number 30. Quite cleanly from Nick George. Imagine if he started the year in the ones.
Oh no, he did this year. This was
last year, yeah,
a couple of years when he came back, when he came across from Northern Districts.
Starting 30. Yeah, he's played 27 games this year. He's missed 1 game, you're right. Jacob Scott fouls it away.
He was going to run then too, I think. He wanted 31 as well.
Coming off a game where he had 4 hits in his last time out. That's Nick George. Jacob Scott, just a couple games ago, he had 3 hits and hit a home run. And
put one out of the blackout there.
Swing and a miss. So Jaden Eldridge, who is a very high strikeout pitcher, that's only his 2nd strikeout of the day, shows the discipline from the West Torrens hitters. But we've played 4. It's a 4-run lead. We will be back. You're watching a little bit of Tuesday Night Baseball, brought to you by West Torrens Baseball Club.
Hilltop Office Supplies are here to provide you with all your stationery, sanitary products.
Back at the ballpark here. What a ballpark it is. Home of the West Torrens Baseball Club. The Eagles playing. They have a 4-0 lead. Hey, guys, right before the broadcast, we're joined by Mark Mcgarry, president of West Torrens Baseball Club, and Michael Dunn. He's on the team of the century for West Torrens. Also at Hilltop Office Supplies. Also played base. He's done a few things. You know who Michael Dunn is. As Nathan Vanderlyn delivers the first pitch to Archie Lovelock, and Lovelock finds a gap, and Glenelg should have a runner aboard. They'll try the throw over, but he'll make it. But I love it when people contribute to these broadcasts from all over. Messages in some good stats.
Yep.
You know I like my stats.
What do you got for us, Eric?
Joshua Patton over at East Torrens Baseball Club playing in the under 15s. He's got 40 stolen bases this year.
Get out.
40.
Team's playing without first baseman.
40. Yeah, literally. That's unbelievable. Good for him. He's got some wheels. 40 stolen bases. Is that the most? I don't know. I'm sure I can find that somehow. But if you want to contribute to that, if you got some stats, things to say, the easiest way, honestly, just message me directly. Just find me on Facebook, message me, Eric Balnar. I'm always open for a baseball chat. A bunch of people do it now during the broadcast, and that's how I find out this information. It's not me. I'm not that smart. It's you and Michael Dunn and Mark Mcgarry that are doing all these things for us here.
Everyone thinks you're the encyclopedia, Eric, but you're really not.
I'm really not. It's just people messaging. But how about that, Josh Patton?
Yep, that's good.
That's a lot, 40.
40. By the way,
and they probably only play 18 games, 19 games for the season anyway.
Yeah,
so
which means he gets on a lot too.
Yeah.
The top 5 of the juniors in all the divisions, from minor league to little league, all the way up to big league. Is this flying out towards left field? Moving back is Max Stagg. He's going to the wall. He's running out of room, but he just has enough to bring in that ball that Connor Hill hit. And the West Torrens outfield has been busy out there. Now everyone's got a catch. I'm just saying, though, everybody, we will be announcing the top 5 from vote getters of all the
junior grades.
All the junior grades this week and
Tomorrow
the senior grades the following week.
Tomorrow night in the bullpen, yes. That'll be, so all you youngsters out there that think you've had a good year, make sure you tune in tomorrow night and see whether you come up on the board.
We've also got a couple women on the show to preview the women's finals that are starting.
Who have we got?
Mackenzie St. George from Woodville Baseball Club. She's been playing baseball since women's baseball came back with the colored teams. Remember those?
Wow.
5 years ago. So she's a good role player over at Woodville. And Ellie Tucker, who has been one of the stars of the season, will also join the show, and we'll talk a little bit about women's baseball. She's on the state team too, Ellie Tucker. Kenzie St. George was also on the women's all-star team. So a couple characters tomorrow night as Elliot Ross swings through that one.
And all fitting with Women's Day today, right, Eric?
International Women's Day.
Women's Day, yep.
We do. We put it all together with that as well to coincide with today's day. So please make sure you tune in tomorrow night, and we'll have plenty to show for you.
Elliot Ross takes one outside. Nathan Vanderlinden has got 5 strikeouts. They all came the first time through the lineup, but he's been pretty good. He's allowed just the 2 hits so far on the day, Vanderlinden. Glenelg need to string some together. They put the ball in play. The outfielders have been really good today. And the wind picks up again.
So that sun's now gone, Mark, for good. It won't come back over the mound again now.
That's right. You're getting good, even light, I think, for the batter, which makes the job a little bit easier, no doubt.
Got colder, though.
No doubt about that. Yeah, that's why you go for the jacket early around here, Eric. And
from the old days, Mark, how much change in the dimensions of the field happened when they moved the ground around? It's moved a fair bit, hasn't it?
It has, and as you probably recall, we had a problem with the build in the sense that there was a drain that they could not build over. And so they had to move the whole building forward about 9 metres, 10 metres or thereabouts, which basically brought the building out to the back of the old batting circle, which is just about down here to my left. So the whole ground had to sort of move across a little bit. They've extended the football field. Those goals have gone further back. And anyway, so we worked a lot with setting the configurations up, and I told them what I thought our minimums needed to be. So we got 320 left and right. It might be 323, 324 to the right, and about 350 straight away.
Right.
Alex Steff, after Elliot Ross struck out. 6 strikeouts now on the day for VDL on the bump. Glenelg now running out of outs.
There it is.
Swing and a miss. That changeup once again. 7 strikeouts for Vanderlinden, 2 in the inning, and this is the kind of playoff Nathan Vanderlinden that West Torrens will need, as they're trying to cement themselves a home finals game. Right now, they are equal in points with West Torrens and just 2 points behind Sturt and Henley and Grange. And by the way, Sturt are losing right now, which is a big one because they are playing East Torrens. And we said that East Torrens would probably need to beat somebody there, but also Southern Districts are tied with Kensington. It is possible if East Torrens win tonight and Southern Districts lose, as well as Glenelg, that East Torrens clinch a final spot, and we are all set before the weekend. It's coming down to the wire, and you love to see it. Here's a look at a lot of the sponsors here at West Torrens Baseball Club.
And we've got Exceed Solar there and Executive Fig Wines. Thank them for their contribution to us this season. That's F93, Francesco Patelli down at Keswick. JSR Plumbing, and Jono's been a big supporter of the league and West Torrens for years. And of course J Painting, Jay Duggan's been a supporter of ours for many years now. And of course the Lockleys Hotel, we thank them for their support over the years.
Tom Mcgarry coming up to bat. What's the junior pipeline like here down at West Torrens in terms of what do you do on like every club seems to have a different idea to catch players and bring them up
Sure.
in the system?
Well, of course, our primary night down here is a Friday night. Whilst probably from the days when we produced entire teams full of state players, we've sort of fallen back a little bit from those days, but we've picked up the ball again. One of the problems that's constricted us is we've had nowhere to run winter programs, and that's where you've got to take your hat off to the Glenelgs and the Adelaides and Henleys and other clubs that have been able to run winter programs, and they've been able to get their kids in that way, and they've done a fantastic job, and they've filled up all of their grades and with multiple levels in some instances. When we were at our peak, we certainly had 2 teams at every level, and that's what we're aiming to get back to now. We filled up all of our junior levels, which we're really pleased with. And on Friday nights, it's fantastic. You get all the littlies running around out here, the 3-year-olds,
yeah,
playing t-ball and just getting to learn and love it. Getting girls involved in the game, and of course, a lot of famous names from the West Torrens Baseball Club have now had their children, and they're involved there. So we're looking to build from that.
Tom Mcgarry battling away, 2-2 count. Puts the ball in play, another awkward spot, picked up by Clavel across the diamond. It was low, but he made the play. A couple bang plays across the diamond that Glenelg have had to make in this one.
Yeah, another good play there. Mason's got a strong enough arm that he can take a little bit longer than normal third baseman would. So, but he picked it up well and
have come back. Yep,
and made the play.
You got an update for us on our scoreboard watch, Mark Mcgarry. What do you got for us?
Well, Sturt have hit the front. They've come back. They're 5-2 in front. They've hit 4 in the top of the 4th innings to take a 5-2 lead.
And they still got bases loaded.
Yeah.
10 hits.
Well, they're a powerhouse unit, no doubt about that.
West Torrens are chasing. That will be much to the delight of Glenelg, who need East Torrens to lose. But they also need to win this game. But West Torrens, on the other hand, if they want to find a way to the top, they need Sturt to lose.
Yeah, that's right. But as I said, they are a mighty powerful unit, and we've faced their wrath a couple of times in the last few weeks, no doubt about that.
They've lost just once in the last couple months, and that was that crazy 9-8 game on a Saturday. That was just a wild event. Wild for West Torrens in all the wrong ways, too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we had a significant lead, 10-3 it was, going into the bottom of the 9th, and all credit to the Magpies. They refused to give up.
That was Wayne Durbridge Day, right? That's what we called it.
Right.
That was Wayne Durbridge.
And eventually they came back to win at 14-13 after trailing 10-3 in the bottom of the 9th. So, yeah, that one hurt us.
Well, that will be to the light of Southern Districts and Glenelg, but a hit up the middle for Sam Mcgarry, and he's aboard for the 2nd time today.
So that was it for Sturt. They only got 4 in the in the 4th. So they lead 5-2 going into the bottom of the 4th with Dalton Probert up. Damon Arnold is pitching for Sturt.
What a year Damon Arnold's had too. Breakout player, one of the breakout player of the year candidates, you'd think, on the mound. With this guy, Jaden Eldridge pitching. Mitch Newenborn up to bat. He was hit by a pitch. He was one of 2 batters that got plunked back in that big 3rd inning that saw 4 free bases and that big old double to left field for Max Stagg that drove in 3.
Good hitting count here. 2-0, none out. Tie your shoes up. See how far you can hit it.
Well, he tied him up and he swung through.
Had the right intentions.
Still a good hitter's count. But now it's full.
Big pitch here. You don't want runners at first and second with none out, and Max having a hot night.
Like, certainly can't afford to allow any more runs. Glenelg, runner has a good jump. It doesn't matter because it's a walk. And Max Stagg, the stage is really set for him, isn't he? As this might be the end.
That would have been quite interesting there, Mark. If Mitch struck out, then that would have been Sam's first stolen base.
Tonight.
No, total. He's got zero.
No,
He got none?
he's
I'm
got
sure
some. He's got some. I just don't think. I just put in the
He doesn't
stat
get-
sheet just the key ones.
Oh.
He doesn't
I'm
get
just
lots
tricking
of
ya.
them.
You got me, Eric.
I'm just tricking you,
You
but he
got
doesn't
me.
have many.
Where are we?
He doesn't have many. You're right. Sorry, Sam, for ragging on you.
He's got 2. There you go.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's not his game. No, he's
Tyrone Hamley has 0. If you want to pick somebody.
Let's start. Yeah, let's go there because that'll be quite fun.
But he was caught stealing once, Bones.
Cool. Yeah, what, by half the
leader's
line?
leader's Nick. He's got 29, and then Jasper's second. He's a
Well, Nick's
long
got
way
30
back.
now. But what's amazing about Nick George is I think he's only been caught stealing once.
Yeah,
Pretty good ratio.
that's
Yeah, it's not
fantastic.
bad.
Wonderful
Max
conversion.
Stagg up to bat. He had the bases clear and hit last time. He's showing bunt.
Interesting here.
So his average with runners in scoring position is 171, so he could work on that, but he's certainly slugging well at 333.
Not sure about the bunt play there. I'm not sure whether that's on or whether he did that himself. But, you know, 4-0, there's no need to be bunting with none out and runners at first.
Especially when
and
you've crunched him to left field a couple times.
I think
Yeah.
we're actually 1 out. I think Tom grounded out
Oh, sorry.
early.
1 out, yep.
That's a good pitch.
Just 1 out, runner on first and second. And now a 1-2 count. Eldridge still working through this.
Yeah, that's good pitching. Good pitching.
Well, he is human. He does strike out. That's the 3rd one of the day for Jaden Eldridge, and it's 2 on the board. Tyrone Hamley up to bat. He had a home run robbed of him. Out by McAuliffe in the 2nd inning. And Tyrone Hamley can put a dent in the game right now. Fouls it away, so a good opportunity for Eldridge here.
He's battled back. He's just had that little lapse in the 3rd, wasn't it? That,
Yeah, the couple
that
hit
hurt him.
hit
and-
batters just killer.
Yeah, just as we talk about those free bases, they'll jump out and snap at you.
Up high.
Bit of a lull over the field here, waiting for something
Expecting
too
to see
exciting to happen.
what's going on. Looks like Dalton Probert's at second up at East Torrens.
Swing and a miss for Tyrone Hamley. So that will end the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts with a runner in scoring position for Jaden Eldridge. We've played 5. Glenelg, they're running out of outs on their season. Can they make a rally? We'll be back after this.
Hilltop Office Supplies are here to provide you with all your stationery, sanitary products and office equipment. We are a local business servicing local communities with the ability to offer you and your business the best prices. We offer a large range of office supplies from pens, ink cartridges and toner to monitors, keyboards and laptops. If you can't see it on our website or in our catalogue, ask us and we'll source it for you. We have a partnership with Kaishira Document Solutions where you will find many leasing options available for these state-of-the-art units and plenty to choose from whether you have 5 or 5,000 employees. We offer businesses a one-stop shop for all cleaning, kitchen and bathroom needs. Check out our website at www.hilltopofficesupplies.com.au. Register your business to stay on top of the latest sales and receive member specials. We are baseball people here to support the baseball community.
Nathan Vanderlinden returning to work. He's got a 4-0 game. He's been excellent. He goes to the Hilltop, which is the pitcher's mound.
That's right.
Michael Dunn, you're the other Hilltop.
We are now into takeaway packaging and all that type of stuff as well. So if you have cafes and you have pubs and you have all that sort of stuff, we can help you out on that area as well.
Tom Huttonen swings through. We're broadcasting live from West Torrens Baseball Club. Thank you very much to them and all of their sponsors who have turned it on tonight. They've turned up the wind as well, I might say.
Definitely part of the deal when you come down here, Eric.
Well, we're used to that, Mark. We get it every weekend where we play too.
Yep.
But those major sponsors, Wedgetail Social Clubs, Bell Property, Glenelg, and David. We haven't talked a lot about David Ferrari. He's got his whole family involved now, hasn't he?
He's a person who's fallen in love with the game of baseball. His wife's down here, his daughter's down here, and of course his son has just made one of the charter squads, which has been fantastic. And he's learned about the game in much a similar way that I did, growing up as a non-baseball family.
Tom Huttonen puts this mile high in the air, but it's an easy play. And it's one down.
So yes, it's been wonderful to have him at the club, and of course he's brought his enthusiasm and, importantly from our point of view, his dollars, and put his money where his mouth is, and helped us out a lot. So we're greatly appreciative of the things he's done.
Third time through for Glenelg. Tim Day's been on twice. Might need to get on a third time to keep Glenelg alive. They need to win their last 2 games. Other results going their way right now in terms of their finals chase. Southern Districts are behind to Kensington. East Torrens are behind to Sturt. But Glenelg only have 1 game after this, and they need to win them both. Swing and a miss from Tim Day.
Eric, what do you reckon they're going to throw here?
Oh, if I was a betting man.
If you were a hitter, what would you be sitting on?
Yeah, you might be thinking there's a changeup coming.
Oh, there it is.
And it's going to be poked over towards shortstop, and you can't really get hard contact off of it. And Nick George makes the easy play, 2 down.
I would say, looking at the numbers, what do we had? 16. How many outs so far? 16, 17?
We've had 16 outs.
So half of those would be outs on changeups.
No, wait, that's
More.
not right. 17 outs. 17 outs, 7 strikeouts, and then there's been a few fly balls that have been kind of that soft contact out towards the outfield.
Yeah. And that's where, as a hitter, you need to, it's all about making adjustments in your at-bats, just not going up there and doing the same thing.
Other than that
time after time.
Other than that Connor Hild ball that he drove to left field that Max Stagg had to make a nice play on, and maybe that Jasper Clark catch in right field, there hasn't really been a lot of hard-hit balls tonight off Nathan Vanderlinden.
No, he's mixed his pitches up very well tonight. He's not thrown a lot of back-to-back pitches of the same pitch. He's used all his arsenal tonight, and he's done a really good job.
That one inside, Henry McAuliffe. He's flown out to center field twice.
That's a great pitch.
Well, Nathan Vanderlinden has 8 strikeouts on the day. What a performance from him. Here's how he's kind of gone. He allowed the hit by pitch on the first, then he retired the next 8, including picking off the runner at first. He allowed a hit, he retired 3 in a row. He allowed a hit, and now he's retired the next 6. So there hasn't been one moment in the game where Glenelg have managed to get back-to-back even base runners on.
Yeah, and again, I go back to, I don't want to harp on it as much as I am, but you've got to make adjustments. As a hitter, you've got to make adjustments. If the last time you went up and had an at-bat and you got thrown a pitch sequence, and the next time up you get thrown the same pitch sequence, then you need to make an adjustment to work out where you're going to stand and work out which pitch you're going to swing after. So it's just make an adjustment. If you know you're going to get a change up somewhere in that at bat, especially when you got 2 strikes on you, you'd rather sit on it knowing it's coming and then still get struck out than just get struck out anyway, right? So it's play the percentages and see how you go. It's just something you have to do as a hitter. You just need to, every at bat needs to be something different, and they try and get into your mind, but you need to try and get into theirs as well.
Over here at West Torrance Baseball Club, we're with the president, Mark Mcgarry. Really appreciate you joining the call, by the way. What's going on, though, in West Torrance world? Any key dates on the next,
Yes, our junior presentations are coming up at the end of this month on the 25th. We still to nail down a senior presentation night because, as you may be aware, we share the facility with the Lockleys Footy Club and the West Beach Soccer Club, so we still have to negotiate a night for that, but it'll be sometime in early April.
I'm guessing you're also hoping that your senior team or your most senior team is playing on the first weekend of April?
Absolutely we are. So that's what we sort of got to hold our horses for and just wait and see.
Nico van der Linden up to bat. And I was seeing that on Facebook. There's a big pack-down day coming up. So is that literally the whole club has to come down and just get the field returned back over to...
Sure, so we're responsible really for pulling down everything you can see in the outfield. So we take the foul poles and the fence and all the rest of it comes down, and the council are responsible for this big infrastructure because, as you can understand, this is all sitting on the football ground and all needs to be removed by crane. So they come and do that, and we just help them out with labour, and obviously then they move in and they replace all the divots where the cutouts are, and they get rid of the mound, and in a couple of days it's turned back into a football field, and
it's weird.
Yeah, it is crazy, and it's the win for a club like Adelaide, who now got their field for the whole year, and but unfortunately we're not in that position. So the best that we're hoping for is that this new brilliant facility that we're going to get, which will be a closed-in batting tunnel, 3 lanes, 22 metres long, 12 metres wide, is going to be akin to what they've got at Seton High, and not quite as big as down at West Beach, but certainly with that idea in mind, so we can run junior programs over the winter.
I saw some photos of that, of what you're hoping it's going to look like, and that is probably something that's going to be a big ask, especially on those rainy, cold nights here that you can go inside and get things done.
Absolutely.
And still use this facility, I'm guessing, too, the club rooms here?
In the old facility, Dunny might remember, we used to set up nets and we could take the kids in and they could swing the bats in the middle of winter. It didn't matter, and you could get the pitches just going through, the teaching stages, working with towels and doing stuff like that, so if you had somewhere to go. So we certainly lost that in terms of moving into this building, but if it's replaced by this new facility out to our left here, it's going to be a big game changer for us, and will bring us back into configuration, I think, for getting juniors, attracting juniors to the club.
Well, Jaden Eldridge just got his 5th strikeout of the game. It's number 97 on the season.
He's pitching well.
He's might fall agonizingly short of that century mark, but what a season Jaden Eldridge has had. If Glenelg don't score 4 runs in their next at-bat, this will be the last we'll see from him all year, because he won't be pitching on Saturday with the pitch counts. And Jaden Eldridge has announced himself as one of the better pitchers in this Division I State League, brought to you by Hilltop Office Supplies. What a season he's had.
He's had a fantastic year to have 98 punch-outs. For a young kid just coming through in his first probably full season as a Division I player, he's done an outstanding job for the Glenelg Baseball Club.
Up in the air, makes the play. He pitched a full season a few years ago, but not necessarily in the same workload as the ace.
Nowhere near.
And then I think he was hurt one of the years, and he worked his way back up. And then this year, he's been kind of everything you kind of hoped he would turn out to be as one of those juniors coming up the system.
Absolutely. He's thrown 94 pitches before tonight, Eric. So, 94 innings.
Yeah.
And absolutely carried this club.
So this is his 100th inning right now.
Yep, that's right.
Wow. How many innings have they thrown over the year? Just over 200?
214.
Yeah,
so
wow.
He's thrown nearly half of their innings.
Yeah.
So he's been a workhorse for the club.
There wouldn't be too many guys that would throw that ratio of innings, because even look at West Torrens, I think the innings pitched.
Well, you can have a look at our guys, and I think
Nathan van der Linden leads it, and it's nowhere near 100.
He's in the 50s, and I think you'll find that Nathan's, what was he before the game, was at 53, so he's probably up to nearly 60. Next is Mitch Newenborn's thrown 45, Will Cortica's 46. So a lot less.
Which is probably more in line. You look at Sturt, where you've got guys like Damon Arnold, Josh Tyndall, and Jackson Brebner Russ, and then at Goodwood, same with they have a list of pitchers that they use. Maybe AJ at Golden Grove is probably that one that you...
Sure.
Nick George battling away.
The thing is with Glenelg too is you put one more pitcher in their team and they become really competitive.
Exactly.
So, you know,
when imports come back.
Yeah, but everyone's going to get import, right? So you need another local guy that you can get, and he wins 5 or 6 or 7 more games, and Glenelg are in the top 6.
Well, Nick George strikes out, and it's 98 strikeouts on the season for Jaden Eldridge in 100 innings pitched. A fantastic season for him. He's getting the high fives out there. It still might not be over yet, but Glenelg need to score 4 runs right here. We'll keep it right here as we are entering the 7th and final inning.
Pitching change.
Will Corticus coming in?
Will Corticus it is.
But you are absolutely right. You think if they have like a Chris Burkholder, like Glenelg
totally.
had a couple years ago, all of a sudden Glenelg, who, you know, they're scoring some more runs this year. They're winning a few more of those baseball games, you'd think.
Yeah, but even if you put, as an example, if you put an AJ in their team,
yeah,
right, they win 20 games.
Yeah, probably.
Right, so that's the difference. You just
you chuck a Nathan Vanderlinden in over there, you know?
Same thing. Yeah, you just someone who can take a little bit of pressure off, and then Eldridge only throws maybe 65 innings instead of 100.
Glenelg scored 5.5 runs this season. That's about average. I mean, it's really only those top 4 teams that are a cut above in terms of Sturt scoring 8 a game, Goodwood 9.6, West Torrens 7.7, Henley 7.8, Kensington 7.5. The rest of the comp's around 5.
Yeah. And I think you'll find, Eric, the difference really between the top group and the next group is simply the depth of their pitching.
Yep.
I think everyone's got one good pitcher. It's about how many they've got to back up their number 1 guy.
Well, we do enter the 7th and final inning. Mark, what else going on at West Torrens that everybody should know about, maybe?
Well, everybody should know that, you know, we're really happy about being back here, and anybody who hasn't been down should come along and inspect the facilities. It is a great place to watch baseball, as you can see from the balcony, and I gave you
it's the best view right here.
Prime position right here, sitting up over the plate. It's a wonderful spot, and certainly we've had some raucous games where there's been lots of comebacks that we've enjoyed. And it's really transformed, in my opinion, the game of baseball and watching baseball in South Australia.
A Saturday afternoon of finals baseball would be okay down here.
Absolutely, yep.
Mason Clavel fouling away. That's what's on the line for West Torrens. A win here tonight makes it challenging. They'll have that game in hand right now over Goodwood to finish below. It's still possible to finish 4th, but it would be hard not to. But Henley and Grange winning tonight, as well as if Sturt hold on, that makes it difficult to finish minor premiers.
Realistically, and with deference to the club sitting in positions 1 and 2, they're likely to finish there. We're more likely to finish 3rd or 4th, depending on how the cookie crumbles.
It's likely a date with Goodwood in the first round of the finals.
Good setup.
West Torrens and Goodwood would be a great matchup.
Well, how is the final? Isn't it 1 play 6?
One plays 6. Yeah.
Goodwood are going to finish 6.
No. 3rd or 4th.
Oh, 3rd and 4th. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. 3rd and 4th. Yeah.
Yeah. 1 plays 6, 2 plays 5, 3 plays 4, and then the highest seeded loser of those series advances. So
the lucky loser. The
lucky loser. The problem is Kensington are. You'd figure whoever finishes top, they're going to be the favor over the 6. Yep. Although it is possible as a strikeout comes from Corticus. Kensington,
it's interesting, Eric. There's been other years, not necessarily in Division 1, where 4, 5, and 6 have actually won.
Yeah.
And because I know that because it was us, we finished 2nd and got knocked out because we had to play Glenelg, who were 5th, and we lost down there for some reason. And
you just don't know.
You don't. The only team that's safe is the top side.
Yeah. You just don't know the road for many minor premiers. But a big strikeout from Will Corticus. Dylan Bentley drives one over towards right, and it's going to be an easy play for Sam Mcgarry, and it's 2 down. You figure this might be the formula for West Torrens. They might start someone like a Newenborn, start someone like a Vanderlinden, and whether it be Vanderlinden or Will Corticus, they're going to have to pitch some valuable innings in relief and hold some leads in the playoffs.
Yep, absolutely. We've also got a couple of youngsters sitting in the pen, which we may not see this postseason, but we're pretty happy with the likes of Jude Barker and Coda Viva. You wouldn't know those names yet, but they're sort of sitting in Division 2 and 3. Barker is a name that I would earmark. He's got some stuff. As his control develops, he's only just an 18-year-old. I think he's got he's got a great future with us, so we'll be looking to him. Not sure what's happened here.
Glove blowout.
Okay. So
Archie
certainly,
Lovelock battling away, last batter.
certainly we're looking to bring those guys in. As I say, I don't think we'll necessarily see them this postseason because they'll probably get work in the lower grades. But yeah, with that and the others, yeah, you're probably right. Newenborn and Van der Linden are going to be the two guys around that will work around.
Lovelock up the middle. George plays it across the diamond, and that's the ball game. West Torrens have won 4 in a row. They haven't allowed a run in any of those 4 games, and the Eagles looking a bit more like those Eagles we saw before Christmas.
Yeah, definitely. They tore it up early, and they've got a hot again late in the year, so it could be a very interesting finals campaign for the Weagles.
That, unfortunately, will eliminate Glenelg from playoff contention, but it has to be said, they started 0-7, and they dragged themselves back almost agonizingly close there.
Yep, and you've got to take your hat off to the Glenelg club and Lachlan Eldridge in particular. You know, once they realised that they were going to have to go with youth, he stuck with it, and he's persisting, and I think they're starting to see the fruits of that labour with the likes of Huttonen and McAuliffe and what have you are coming through and showing real promise.
By the way, Southern Districts have made it a 2-2 ball game in the 7th. Kensington have tied that. But a big thank you to all of the sponsors, particularly here at West Torrens Baseball Club. There's a whole list of them. The big major ones we'll go through for you. Wedgetail Social Club doing a lot of work getting this ground back up to where they want it to be. Bell Property Group and at Glenelg, David Ferrari, the principal, that whole Ferrari family. Lockleys Hotel and the Kelly family, North Adelaide Dental Care, those major sponsors.
Yes, they are.
Club sponsors, JDB Painting, Jay Duggan, Exceed Solar, Corey Evans, your print partners, that's Peter Harvey. Executive Fig Wines, JSR Plumbing, and F93.
That's right, Francesco. Go down to Keswick and have a coffee down there. A friend will look after you.
And on that note, we'll say thank you and good night to everybody here around Baseball Clubland. We'll see you tomorrow night for In the Bullpen.
See you then, guys.